During my years at Marist, I was able to meet some really remarkable people, but I cannot think of another person that has had a more diverse career than Paul Browne, but also very successful in every aspect of that career. He did it all, and he was good at everything he did.
According to friends, current and former colleagues, reporters who like him, and those who don't, Paul J. Browne is a straight shooter, a kid from the Bronx, one of the good guys, a professor and a priest, an upstanding citizen, a saint, extremely intelligent, and most importantly, a good guy to have by your side. The last description may well be the one that most shaped his professional career, as Paul was a longtime employee, loyal friend, and trusted advisor to former NYPD Police Commissioner Ray Kelly. If you compare their resumes side by side, you will find that for most of the past few decades, wherever Kelly has gone, Paul Browne has sat in the seat right next to him. When New York City Mayor David Dinkins appointed Kelly to his first term as police commissioner in 1992, Paul Browne came on as his assistant commissioner. When President Bill Clinton asked Kelly to organize a police force in Haiti 2 years later, he brought Paul Browne as his deputy. When President Clinton later asked Kelly to serve as the Undersecretary for Enforcement at the U.S. Treasury, he named Paul Browne his chief of staff. When Kelly became Commissioner of U.S. Customs, Paul Browne followed. And when Kelly was again named Police Commissioner by Mayor Michael Bloomberg, Paul Browne became his Deputy Commissioner for Administration, and 2 years later, his press secretary. That's not to say Paul Browne is anyone's understudy, far from it. When Paul left the NYPD 12 years later, he was the longest-serving Deputy Commissioner of Public Information in the department's history. No small feat, considering it is one of the most high-pressure positions in one of the most demanding media markets in the world. For many years, Paul Browne was the face of the NYPD. In a New York Times interview, Ray Kelly said of Browne, "He's my consigliere. He's no Tom Hagen, but he's my consigliere," playfully using a Godfather reference. "My wartime consigliere."
Hear this. This is business, not personal, Sonny.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
When the reporter mentioned that Browne seems awfully quiet, even for a consigliere, Mr. Kelly chuckled, "That's what you want in wartime. He gives me a lot of wisdom."
I think his background in journalism, his ability to communicate, certainly helped him in that role, but also he was a strategic thinker. He made connections with issues and people in ways that I think only the most intelligent people do. So probably those two skills are what served him so well and why he was such a trusted advisor to Ray Kelly.
Before working with Kelly, Paul Browne created an impressive resume in his own right. He served as press secretary and chief of staff for the late U.S. Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, and in similar posts at the New York State Court of Appeals, the New York State Commission on Independent Colleges and Universities, and also as vice president for advancement at his alma mater, Marist College. His work as deputy director of the International Police Monitors in Haiti with the United Nations mandate to end human rights abuses there and to establish an interim police force during Operation Restore Democracy in 1994 through 95 led to him being awarded the Commander's Medal for Public Service by then Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, U.S. Army General John Shalikashvili. Before entering government service, Paul was a newspaper reporter, first for the Watertown Daily Times in upstate New York, and later as Albany bureau chief for the New York Daily News and the New York Law Journal. He also served for many years in New York State's capital as a stringer for the New York Times. His freelance reporting has been published in the Washington Post and other publications. He is a former member of the board of the American Irish Historical Society and has been published in its journal, The Recorder. Paul most recently held the position of Vice President for Public Affairs at the University of Notre Dame before his retirement in June of 2021. Upon his retirement, University of Notre Dame President Reverend John Jenkins said, "In his nearly 8 years at Notre Dame, Paul has been a calm, thoughtful presence at the center of storms that sometimes envelop a university." Under his guidance at Notre Dame, there was a tenfold increase in the placement of faculty experts in leading media outlets, raising the national and global profile of the university. He was also integrally involved in the presentations of the Notre Dame Award in Brazil, Mexico, and Ukraine, and he convened media roundtables and other events for administration officials and faculty members in China, Colombia, London, Dublin, and elsewhere around the world. Paul's international worldview was shaped by his time at Marist College. Fluent in Spanish, Paul studied abroad for a year in Bogota, Colombia.
I first learned of Paul through the list of everyone who had gone abroad. And I saw somebody had gone to Colombia. Of course, it was Paul J. Browne, class of 71. This was 50 years ago. People weren't just jumping on planes going to another hemisphere, never mind 18-year-olds studying in Poughkeepsie, New York. And I thought to myself, this is a guy who's going to go places.
Post-graduation, Paul served with the Marist Brothers Volunteer Corps in Pago Pago, American Samoa. A native of the Bronx and a graduate of Mount St. Michael Academy, Browne earned a master's degree from the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism after receiving his bachelor's degree in American Studies from Marist College. A loyal supporter of the Marist Fund, Paul has previously received the Marist College Distinguished Alumnus Medal and was a keynote speaker at 2010 graduate and adult commencement ceremony. He married the former Sarah Purcell at the Abbey in Galway City, Ireland. The Brownes have an adult daughter, Lacey. Congratulations to 2022 Dr. Linus Richard Foy, 50, Outstanding Alumnus Award winner, Paul J. Browne, class of 1971.